Order! Order! You are an incorrigible delinquent at times. Behave yourself, man!
An investigation into spending by Vote Leave during the EU referendum campaign has been reopened by the Electoral Commission. The organisation denies attempting to get round spending limits. The Electoral Commission originally accepted this, but now says it has new information.
Now, the elections watchdog has reopened an investigation into the Vote Leave campaign spending during the Brexit referendum and into substantial donations which Vote Leave made to two other pro-Brexit campaign groups. The Electoral Commission said that new information had come to light since it last reviewed spending limits earlier this year. And our political correspondent Michael Crick is in Westminster. Michael.
Well, Matt, you'll recall that during the referendum campaign there were two official campaigns, the pro-Remain campaign and the Brexit campaign, Vote Leave. Now, under the rules, they were allowed to spend each up to £7 million. But if they had surplus funds, they also said that they were allowed to pass on that surplus money to some of the dozens of other groups that were around during the referendum. And Vote Leave gave £625,000 to a young man called Darren Grimes, who was a university student. We featured him on the programme a few times at the time, and also gave £100,000 to another group called Veterans for Britain. Now, under the rules, Vote Leave weren't allowed to tell these smaller groups how to spend the money, and that's what this investigation is all about, whether they were ordered how to spend the money. The Electoral Commission looked into this a few months ago and decided to take no further action. But since then, there's been a legal action brought by a group of lawyers who say the Electoral Commission isn't been doing its job properly and ought to investigate this case properly. Now, under the rules, the Electoral Commission, if they find there has been an offence, can fine up to £20,000 for each offence. But if the Electoral Commission find evidence of criminality, they can refer the case to the police with a possible criminal prosecution.
Michael Crick in Westminster.
This is the second pro-Brexit organisation to face an inquiry, am I right?
You're right, this is another of your lot. Vote Leave was the official Brexit campaign. Yeah. Leave.EU was the kind of UKIP, the unofficial. Yeah, sort of incredibly rich diamond mine owner in South Africa and so on, man of the people. Anyway, they're being investigated now by the Electoral Commission, and of course, they deny any allegations of misappropriation, giving money to an offshoot, and allegations they were controlling it. But what do you do? What do you do in the hypothetical position that both Vote Leave and Leave.EU, or one, have been found to have broken the rules? Because if it was an MP, that MP, he or she, would be disqualified. Would you overturn a referendum result? I know it was close, but...
I have a slightly more... I mean, of course, it's dreadful what's happened, but on the other hand...
If anything has happened.
If anything has happened. But on the other hand, I mean, you know, everybody who had the whole establishment being telling the most amazing stuff about what was going to happen to us. I mean, and dinosaurs were going to walk down the high street at one point if we voted for Brexit.
I've seen Nigel Farage, you're quite right, they do.
So anyway, so I think this kind of you know, balances us out a little bit.
Ooh, would you condone law-breaking? Surely you wouldn't. If indeed there has been any...
I'm certainly not going to admit it to you,
God,
Kevin.
you Brexiteers, you Brextremists are really wild.